opportunity that we can't pass on.
And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lake Karapiro, here situated in the Waikato in New Zealand for our 2 days of our New Zealand Dragon Boat Nationals. There's 2 days of Dragon Boat entertainment. No less than 75 boats competing over the 2 days of the Dragon Boating. Day one today, no less than 45 races with the 2K races and the 200 metre splash and dashes. And tomorrow, it's all focused on the 500 metre event. So today, 44 races in total on this beautiful lake where the Dragon Boating crews will battle for supremacy for the national title. So the first cabs off the rank will be the 2 kilometre races, where the boats aren't racing themselves, more or less racing against the clock, and the quickest times for the day will be awarded the medals later on this afternoon. And a bit after 10:30, 10:45 this morning, we will crack into the 200 metre races, where, as we said before, there's over 40 races to start today as part of our 2-day Dragon Boat Nationals here at Lake Karapiro. So looking forward to the action, bringing to you live here from the drone. You get some beautiful shots of the lake as our continuation of the Dragon Boat throughout the day. The first race due off in about 2.5 minutes time, which is the first of our 2 kilometre races, where the Dragon Boats do 4 turns and complete 2K, and as we said before, racing against the clock, not against themselves. Where there'll be first race, we'll see about 7 Dragon Boats take to the water, and the second race will be 10, and the third race there will be about a dozen races on the water competing in the 2 kilometre events. And after that, as we said, we're into our 200 metre splash and dashes as part of our day one of our 2-day Dragon Boat National Regatta. Great to see the boats back on the water after a couple of years of absentees, but all the action is about to begin at about 9 o'clock in approximately 90 seconds time. Sit back and enjoy the action. As we said, more than 75 teams competing over the 2 days of our Dragon Boat Regatta here at Lake Karapiro. So looking forward to bringing you all the action. As you can see, the teams are getting ready for their 2 days of dragon boating, and we'll be underway very, very shortly as part of our 2023 NZDBA Dragon Boat Nationals. Crews are now loading into the dragon boats. Safety is the paramount, and we've got officials down there ticking the people off as they paddlers get into their dragon boats. We've got a sweep, which will be controlling the boat at the back of the dragon boat, and also the drum at the front, just giving the rhythm of the dragon boat as they begin their 2K. But as you can see now, the paddlers getting prepared, getting into their dragon boats. Our first race is what's called a Premier Mix, where there's 10 teams competing in the first of our 2 kilometre events. Teams including the Paddleteers, Waitemata Warriors, Waimak Vibes, City Dragons Ko-Fi, Random Jaffers, Waimak Attack, BOP Dragon Flyers, Southern Dragons, Lion and Lakers Devils. These 10 crews will start in 15-second intervals, and they'll progress up the lake, have a turn, come on back to the start line to complete 1 lap, and then do it again and complete the 2 kilometre event. So as you can see, the Dragon Boat paddlers are now getting ready in their boat. They get filed off safely, so they make sure that all 20 persons are in the boat. All wear life jackets, as you do see. So as we said, that safety is paramount with the Dragon Boating Regatta. Once all the dragon boats are fulfilled, they'll then make their way behind the start line and progress on their 2 kilometre event. They'll be set off in 15-second intervals. And the first dragon boat has been let loose, more to say, so be making their way behind the start line and getting ready for the first of our 2 kilometre races. As we said, the first race of the day is the Premier Mixed, so these teams are mixed for male and female. And 10 crews to hit the water, the first of their 2 kilometre event. That's obviously just getting the blood a little bit warmed up, expanding those lungs for that 2 kilometre event. Just trying to get a nice even stroke rate between those paddler tiers, between the sweep on the back of the boat controls the direction of the boat, and of course at the front of the dragon boat we have the drummer who tries to keep a nice rhythm for the dragon boaters to keep to throughout their event, whether it's a 200 metre, the 500 metre or the grueling 2K time trial. Now the crews in the first heat just getting prepared. Team talks are all done, charts are all sorted, and now it's a matter of getting the deal done on the water. Beaut conditions here at Lake Karapiro this morning. Just a slight easterly at the moment. Sun trying to break through. We should be in for a very good day's dragon boating. Just got information through from Racing HQ, still 4 boats to load for the first of the day, just a little bit of a hold up down at crew loading. 6 of the crews have got their full allotment of dragon boat paddlers out on the water, just a slight hold up with a couple of the dragon boats down there, the other 4 just loading up now, and when they're ready they will all be on the water, and then the official race start will give them 15-second delays between each start and send them on their way down the lake for their 2 kilometre time trial at day 1 of our 2-day Dragon Boat National Regatta. A total of 45 races on day 1, comprising of our 3 2-kilometre time trials. Then we'll get into our 200-metre splash and dashes, and we'll finish off the day with our finals for our 200 metres. And then tomorrow it's all focus on the 500-metre events, small boat and standard boat. Small boat, 10 paddlers will be in the water, and our standard boat will be the 20-person crew. So a big day tomorrow with our 500s. But all the focus today is on our 2-kilometre time trials, followed by our 200-metre splash and dashes, which comprise day 1 of our 2-day Dragon Boat Regatta. And all crew supporters biting at the bit to get out on the water with 2-year absence from our nationals, so it's great to have the nationals back on our dragon boating calendar. And both the South Islands and North Island champs were completed recently in both islands, and now the 2 islands get together for our nationals for 2023. And this is brought to you live on Māori TV. Great to have their support as part of our Dragon Boat Nationals. So those last 4 crews are just getting organised down at the start. The breeze in the lake just getting up a little bit, probably around the 8 or 10 knot. strength at the moment, so not overly strong, but definitely know a breeze across the lake there at the moment, probably coming down the lake, so it might assist the dragon boaters on their downward leg. It'll definitely suit them in the 200s a little bit later on. But pushing up the lake, might just have to expand those lungs just a little bit more to get up the lake twice in that 2,000 metre time trial.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Team 5 in pitcher shot, Random Jaffers, an Auckland-based team making their way to the start. Just some of the other teams that are competing throughout the first day of our regatta. Race number 2 this morning is the Breast Cancer Survivors race, featuring Can Survive, Boobop Savvy, Busting with Life, A Breast of Life, Waikato Treasure Chests, Pink Dragons and Boobop's Chardy. And the 2Ks will be completed with the Premier Woman. Huge fleet of 15 dragon boats going to post there. Can 2, Taranaki Dragons, Wairarapa Woman, Simply the Breast, Waikato Snapdragons, Bay Dragons, OPC, Kakariki, which is a Christchurch-based team, Otatahi Paddling Club, Pegasus Dragons, Amazon Hearts, Woman of Steel, Haraki Blues, the Jaffettes, Manawahini, Potapoti Dragons from the Deep South Dunedin, and 22 Sisters. The 15 crews do battle in the Premier Woman division of our 2K. After that has been completed, we get straight into our 200 metre, like we like to call them, the splash and dashes, hit the lake. So the last of those few crews in race number 1 just getting set. There's just a slight delay down at the start loading for a couple of those crews, but that looks like they're getting all sorted down there now. They'll make their way out onto the water shortly and compete in the first of our 2K time trials. Waimak Vibes, one of the teams in the first of our 2K events, a team established only as late as October 2021. The Waimak Vibes bring you all the greetings from Otatahi, where they started with only 4 experienced paddlers and have built to a committed team over the last 2 years who enjoy both the competitive and social vibes that being a member of the Dragon Boat team brings. The Waimak Dragon Boat Club was a well-established club in Kaiapoi, there in Canterbury, and they have welcomed support of the establishment of the Vibes team. The Waimak Vibes are very fortunate and blessed to have experienced paddlers Sione and Harmony Arilla coaching and sweeping them, and Waimak Vibes are growing their membership and are encouraging and supportive of all, no matter what their ages or ability. And the team was thrilled to be awarded the Most Improved Team of the Year at the 2022 Aoraki Awards evening. YMAC Vibes are excited to be at the Nationals 2023 to see how their experience and magnitude of the sport to be part of this awesome atmosphere here at Lake Karapiro. There's a wee bit of information on one of the teams competing in the first races here in YMAC Vibes. We've got a visiting Australian team in the first of our races too, Lakers Devils. They're made up of teams representing Queensland, Australia. They're from Dragon Boat clubs are situated in Cairns, Townsville, Sunshine Coast, Mackay and the Lakes District. And they look forward to touring New Zealand after the regatta, but also, more importantly, looking forward to the continuation of their competitiveness in the 2023 Nationals. Here, there's the first boat underway. They're just doing a bit of practicing of their procedure, their rounding procedure down there. Still a few minutes away. So a few of the boats with this little, a delayed start have just made their way just beyond the start-finish line just to practice a couple of their rounding manoeuvres. A bit of information about some of the other crews that are competing today, Busting with Life, a breast cancer survivor team. They've had 25 years experience in the dragon boating game, and they believe in fun, fitness and friendship, and their motto is find it, feel it and fix it. That's Busting with Life. From the Brave Ladies in the Breast Cancer Survivor Series, they'll go off as second in the race of our 2K race. The Hauraki Blues, a team of strong, fit and a wee bit experienced women, one of the few full-time women's masters teams in Aotearoa, bonded together by the absolute love of the oceans, lakes and the rivers. We slay on the day, on a daily, and they love the waters of West Haven and beyond. It's part of our Hauraki Blues team, competing through our 2 days of dragon boating. Our Waikato teams, Waikato Treasure Chests, based in Hamilton, and they train on Lake Karapiro. These ladies have paddled through all conditions to build a full breast cancer crew in the first time in their 20-year history. And layered with talent, enthusiasm, competitive fun up the mighty chest. That is a Waikato Treasure Chests, another team from the Waikato rep team. This is made up of paddlers from the Taranaki, Hamilton City Water Sports and Paddle Waikato, Experienced paddlers and first-timers at Nationals combining to form a formidable crew coached by the legendary Shane Petley. These ladies have an immense passion for our sport. Their dedication showing the power of their top hands. Their top hands are a crucial part of their paddling technique, of course. Back these wahine toa from the mighty Waikato as they reach set drive their way down the stretch of water here at Lake Karapiro. And the Waikato Snapdragons, formed out of the Waikato Treasure Chest team. They're a new team on the block. They may not be new, but the boat has a mix of experience, capabilities and personality to boot. They'll be snapping at the heels of their competition up the Snappies. The Waikato Snapdragons also competing over the 2 days. A bit of information about our 3 Waikato teams. Another team competing is simply the Breast. STB, as they're known as, was established in 2007, so 16 years experience for the STB ladies, a women's team of breast cancer survivors and supporters. Now, their range of paddling experience ranges from 30 to over 70 years old. STB promotes dragon boating and its benefits here at home and the beautiful sunny Marlborough in New Zealand. They train 3 times a week in the stunning Wairea River, so that's about a 10-minute drive out of Blenheim there in Marlborough. Simply the Breast enjoy the competitive nature of being on the water, as well as the camaraderie we experience at regattas in the wider dragon boat community in New Zealand and all over the world. Simply the Breast, they strive to do their best both on and off the water. Another Christchurch-based team competing over the next 2 days are Sampan Warriors. Now they're based in north of Christchurch City and is one of the oldest teams still paddling in New Zealand. They've paddled for over 31 years and they are a mixed group ranging from 14 to 70 years of age. For many it's a social team and they've collected many awards and medals over the years. Just missed out on a recent gold at the South Island Champs, finishing second, beaten by 0.027 of a second. Sampan Warriors, one of our Christchurch-based teams paddling in the 2-day regatta here at Lake Karapiro as part of our Dragon Boat Championships. There's still a wee bit of a delay down there at the start for our first of our 2Ks. Scheduled start was a 9 o'clock start, but just a little bit of a hold up with a few issues with some of the dragon boats down there, but have been told that most of those issues have been ironed out and the first of our 2K events will be underway very, very shortly. The first of these 2K events, of course, are racing against the clock. Time trial for their 2 kilometre event. Up and down the lake twice to compete their 2Ks and racing against the clock. And looks like the first of our 10 crews, the first of our 2Ks underway. So our Dragon Boat Regatta 2023 Nationals here at Lake Karapiro, situated just outside the Waikato, underway. So the first crew to hit the water is the Paddleteers. And as we said, these crews begin in 15-second intervals. So Team 1's underway, the Paddleteers on the journey, trying to get a nice rhythm nice and early in their Dragon Boat quest of their 2K time trial. Team 2 is underway. That is Wairarapa Warriors. There's Team 2 underway. Team 3 has just begun, Waimak Vibes, a Canterbury-based team. They're on the journey. City Dragons about to give their countdown. Countdown has been received and they're underway. City Dragons, Kopai, they're on the journey as well. Team 4. Team 5, which is the Random Jaffers. They're waiting for their 5-second countdown. There it is. And Random Jaffers on the way for their 2 kilometre time trial. Next team to get ready is Waimak Attack, another one of our Canterbury-based teams. And Waimak Attack on the journey. 6 down, 4 to go, the first of our flights of our premier mixed 2 kilometre time trials. Dragonflyers, BOP Dragonflyers, getting their countdown from our official starter, have received it and they're on the journey. Team 7, Dragonflyers on the journey. Southern Dragons are now getting their 5-second countdown with number 8 on their Dragon boat. And Southern Dragons have started their 2023 New Zealand Dragon boat regatta here at Lake Karapiro. Lion next to go. Lion underway, our penultimate boat in our first of our 2 kilometre time trials, and the last boat to be set underway is their visiting Australian crew. It is the Lakers Devils. And Lakers Devils have been sent on their way as well. So all 10 crews out on the lake for their first taste of action here at the 2023 New Zealand Dragon Boat Nationals. Paddling the way down the lake to complete their first 500. They'll turn around, head back to complete 1,000, and then they'll do it again to have a 2 kilometre time trial. So all 10 crews on the water, and they are all in starting order at the moment. Looks like down at the top, mark Team 3, which started third, Waimak Vibes, they're under, going to surpass, as you can see, Waimata Warriors, so there's a bit of a change here. 2 and 3 have swapped places. As you can see, those teams now just winding their way around the bottom mark. Those 2 crews getting very, very close. Teams 2 and 3, all very close there between Waimata Warriors and Waimak Vibes, but it looks like Team 3, Waimak Vibes, have just got the better of Waimata Warriors, Team 2. Looks like one of the boats have stopped out on the water there. Team number 2, Waimata Warriors. Teams 5, 6 and 7 winding around the bottom mark. They are Random Jaffers, Waimak Attack and the Dragonflyers. So they've all completed 500 metres. They're all on their second leg, which is back to the start line to complete 1,000 metres, and then they'll do it again. Looks like the Waimata Warriors have had a little bit of a problem with their boat out there. They actually stopped for a 30 seconds or so, but they're back underway now. There's team number 8, our Southern Dragons, winding around the bottom mark. About 2 Dragon boats behind them, and 9 is Lion. And the last of our 10 Dragon boat crews to complete the first of 500 metres will be our visiting Aussie cousins. They are the Lakers Devils. Of course, the Lakers Devils made up of Dragon Boat clubs based in Queensland, namely Cairns, Townsville, Sunshine Coast, Mackay, and the Lakers District. And the Lakers Devil, they complete their first of their 500 metres. So all 10 crews are on their second leg. Headed up by the paddleteers. They've got about 100 metres to complete their halfway stage of their 2 kilometre time trial. Now they've got about a 4 boat length advantage over team number 2. It's going to get quite congested between some of these teams approaching the halfway mark. So the paddleteers have rounded their top mark. Waimata Warriors got going again. They'll go around second here to third, which is the Waimate Vibes. Now, team number 5, Random Jeff, has made up a lot of ground. They've actually surpassed team 4. Team 7, which is the Dragonflies, they made up good ground as well, but it's getting very, very congested around this bottom mark. Very congested, as you can see. The inside boats always have the right of way, but there's 4 boats here jostling for that one position. Very, very close. This is where the sweeps and the drummers get involved. Very tight. 6 boats there within about 2 boat lengths are trying to wind that bottom mark. Who's going to come out on top there? There's team 2, the Waimata Warriors. They've gained a little bit more confidence and are pedaling towards their 1500 metre mark. Inside them is team 3, Waimate Vibes. Random Jeff has made up very good ground. They started 5th. They're now in 4th, and then they've got the other 2 crews right on their sides. Waimata Warriors and Waimate Vibes. City Dragons dropped a couple of places. Team 7, which is the BOP Dragonflies, made up good ground. Waimate Attack, they're on the outside of these 2 boats. And then back to Southern Dragons, Lion, and Lakers Devils, who've got about 100 metres to go to complete their halfway mark. So the Paddleteers, who started off first, are still in first position. They've got about 2 or 3 boat lengths over a crowd chasing them, including Random Jeffers, who started 5th, making up 2 or 3 places very, very quickly. Waimate Vibes and Waimata Warriors. So team 5, the Random Jeffers, they're having a very good paddle out there at the moment. They started 5th. They've paddled their way into 2nd spot in order of boats. So they're having a very, very good paddle. As we said, it's not more or less racing against each other boat, it's the time. Very, very congested 2 to 5 here at the moment between the Random Jeffers, Waimata Warriors, Waimate Vibes and City Dragons. No doubt there might be a protest or 2. As a bit of a footnote, teams can protest if they think they've been unfairly circumcisions out there. As you can see, 9 of these boats, there's only about 4 or 5 boat lengths from 1st to 9th, so very, very strong races by the girls out there and guys. And getting towards the top mark. It's a complete 1,500 metres. Who's first to turn? It is the Paddleteers' turn first. Second to turn will be Random Jeffers, who have picked up 3 spots, started 5th, and now paddled away into a 2nd spot. And right on the Dragon Boat rear of Paddleteers are the Jeffettes. As you can see, a few of these boats are going a little bit wider, so the other ones give them right away to get the inside running. And as these 9 of these crews are within 50 metres of each other as they begin their final leg towards the 2K finish. So the Paddleteers, who started off first at the water, now being challenged by Random Jeffers on the outside. They're trying to get their dragon boat head in front and to complete a very fast 2-kilometre time trial. Behind these 2 crews, we've got the Waimata Warriors, Waimate Vibes and City Dragons in close contention. 7 BOP Dragonflies also made up very, very good ground as well. They're trying to get a higher finish. Lion not too far away, and Lakers Devils are just a wee bit off the speed. But we get within inside the last 150 metres of these last of these crews competing their 2,000 metre time trial, and a big finish by BOP Dragonflies. They started 7th on the grid, more or less to say, and they've paddled their way into first spot. Team number 8, Southern Dragons, a very, very strong second half. They're powering home. They might finish, get line honours for second. Third will be Paddleteers, but with about 150 metres to go. Team 7 in front, Dragon Flyers. Southern Dragons, big second half. They have battled their way into second position. We've got a boat, capsize in the water, so safety regulations will kick in here. We're getting down towards the finishing line. First across the line will be BOP Dragon Flyers, followed by Southern Dragons. Then we got the Paddleteers. Close up was Random Jaffers. Then Waimak Vibes. Not far away will be City Dragons. Team 6 Waimak Attack, they're just idle in the water. They had a bit of problems at about the 200 metre mark. And the Lakers Devils, they've got about 200 metres to complete their 2 kilometre journey. So safety boats out on the water. They're making their way out to the middle of the lake just to see if everything is A-OK. Waimak Attack. Now what they'll do, just to make sure everything is A-OK, they'll count off their 20 members, or their 22 members, including the drummer and the paddler.
Waikato treasure chest to crew loading, please. That is Waikato treasure chest to crew loading for your upcoming 2 kilometre time trial.
And Lakers Devils about to complete their 2 kilometre time trial, about to cross the line. Any tick of the clock, and will do so now. And as we said, the safety boats are making their way out to the middle of the lake just to make sure everything is A-OK with our boat number 6, which is Waimak Attack. So this looks like what happened with the team just halfway down their final leg. That the Waimak Attack team just took on a little bit of water on board of that dragon boat, so they bailed out of their 2 kilometre time trial just for safety reasons. Now the safety boat is out there. I'm just making sure that all crew members, including the sweep, which is the person at the back of the dragon boat, controlling the direction, and also the drummer at the top of the boat, who sets a rhythm for the dragon boat, making sure everything is A-OK. All life jackets, all paddlers are wearing life jackets. Make sure they're all deployed. Their safety feature. It looks like they're nearly ready to get going again. Word through that all dragon boating paddlers have been accounted for on the Waimak Attack, as we said. Safety is paramount for the dragon boaters out on the lake. So the safety boat's just attending to that Waimak Attack out on the water. As you can see, just taking a little bit of water. Several paddlers have been safely accounted for. Safety procedure will start to kick in now, where the dragon boat will be towed in to the crew loading area, where all dragon boaters, paddlers will be safe and sound. And just while Waimak Tech has been attended to out in the middle of the lake, we'll just go to a short commercial break here on Māori TV, and we'll be back shortly with our Breast Cancer Survivor Race 2, part of our two-day Dragon Boat Nationals here at Lake Karapiro.
A big thank you to Apollo Projects for providing the funding.
It's really helped our kids to have more opportunities.
Gaining the extra funding really goes a long way to providing opportunities.
We are low on the socioeconomic index, so our students haven't got $200 when we're going away for these trips.
Students often miss out on opportunities because of the financial commitment.
More often than not, the student has to give up their sport.
With the funding from Apollo Projects, we've been able to lower travel costs to allow more students to participate in secondary school competitions.
Your generosity has enabled us to enable these students be able to play in these sports, be able to just be the best versions of themselves.
We're really grateful, and I cannot express that enough about how and what it means to us.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
Since 2022, New Zealand Carbon Farming has been a partner in our School Sports Series, which is a collection of national sporting events that are held throughout New Zealand. They've also committed significant funding to help local schools and the communities that they're a part of so they can achieve more with their sport programs.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport and to promote sport in schools is hugely beneficial.
As a small rural school, obviously travel is an issue for us. We compete often in the Waikato.
We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel and the cost of accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students.
Our students are in an area where money is tight and opportunities for them is minimal. So creating more opportunities at school for our students to participate in sport is what we're wanting to do.
So to be able to have the support of New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic this year.
We are very grateful for the funding. It's going to help a lot of our students here at Tikuti High School, especially one of our students, Callum Headley. He has made the New Zealand Kia Ōrahi team.
I'd just like to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for their support of the college. Without the support, we wouldn't be able to offer everything we do to the students.
Huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. Certainly the opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
Big thanks to New Zealand Carbon Farming for everything they've done for us. Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this isn't about what we wore back in the day.
we're going to go now. Going once, going twice, no more offers. Sold!
It's about being trusted to get a better result for our clients since 1973.
And welcome back to the action here at Lake Karapiro as part of our New Zealand Dragon Boat Nationals, our two-day regatta. We've just seen the first of our 2K time trials featuring 10 teams. One of the teams did take on a little bit of water halfway down their final stretch. Was it a team from Canterbury and Waimak Tech? So that's when the safety briefings kicked in before the regatta. Numerous meetings just to confide with the teams what does happen when a safety breach has been hit, and of course it was even when the dragon boat started taking a little bit of water. And as you can hear, they're just back to crew loading at the moment, giving the crowd a big wave. They're all safe and sound, and it does happen. The safety boats are quick to get into action, get out on the lake, and The boats have a count to see that everybody is intact. Nobody's not with the dragon boat, and everybody was there, so they've just been pulled to safety by one of the dragon boat official safety vessels out there, and they've just arrived back at the crew loading area. Great to see all 22 safe and sound. So there's quite a bit happening in that first of our Dragon Boat 2K events. These crews can lodge a protest, a formal protest, if there's a bit of, let's say, skullduggery out on the water between those four legs, and they have to be received by the committee by a certain stage, and they'll sit down and have a look at the information with the footage that is available to see what the story is. But as you can see, here comes the boat back to our crew loading area. Taking on water could be a bit of an understatement. The boat is fully immersed in the lake, but look at the spirits of those WIMAC team. A lot of experience out in the boat. They know what to do when this does happen, and there's no cause for concern. The safety procedures were in effect immediately, and all 22 there on the boat are getting back to our lakeside safe and well. Maybe the dragon boat a bit more underwear, fully immersed in the water. And those safety procedures do continue when they get back to lakeside. When they do get back to lakeside, there is a head count. All the paddlers will number themselves off, make sure that all 22 get safely back to lakeside. And having a quick look there, looks like all 22 are there. And all the paddlers, good spirits after a little bit of a hiccup in their two-day dragon boating event. And while the WIMAC personnel get back to lakeside, race number 2 getting ready down at crew loading. They are Can Survive, Boobops, Savvy, Busting with Life, A Breast of Life, Waikato Treasure Chests, Pink Dragons, and Boobops, Shardy. There's a picture of those crews getting ready for their race. Just will be a slight delay as well until the WIMAC attack. WIMAC Vive's boat has been safely put aside. And those 7 crews for the second flight of our 2K time trial will get ready. As you can see, some of the hardy members of that WIMAC Vive team just getting the water out of the boat. A lot of water went into that dragon boat, so not sure exactly what did happen there, but it did start taking on a little bit of water halfway down that last leg between the 1500 metre and the finishing line, so that water just been taken out of the boat. Looks to be A-OK. All 22 members are fine, no injuries, and they will be all set to compete for the rest of our regatta. And those 6 crews getting ready, 7 crews for the second flight of a 2K, just preparing themselves and getting the members into the boat. Just a wee bit of a delay with that little mishap in their previous 2K time trial. They're just taking a bit of a time out until they are needed out in the water for their 2 kilometre time trial. So this is, of course, day 1 of our 2 days of our NZDBA Dragon Boat Nationals here at Lake Karapiro. First day consisting of these 2 kilometre time trials, 3 flights of them, and then we'll get into our 200 metre splash and dashes where there's 44 events comprising of heats, concluding the day with finals, And then tomorrow, day 2, it's all about the 500s, where there's small boats and standard boats. Small boats have 10 persons on the dragon boat, and the standard, the full quota of 20, and plus, of course, the sweep and the drum as well, so 22 and 12 respectively in those 2 boats tomorrow, the standard and the small, so full day of 500s to complete the 2 days of our dragon boat nationals. And the paddlers, just great to be back on the water with a 2-year absence for our nationals. And recently, the South Island, North Island champs were completed. All roads leading to Lake Karapiro for our nationals, our 2-day regatta. So as we're situated here at Lake Karapiro, at the mighty river domain, of course, the lake at Karapiro, part of the mighty Waikato. As we know, lots of water sports do take place here on the lake. The Māori Cup was here last week for the secondary schools. This weekend, of course, the National Dragon Boat Championships, and the continuation continues. So Lake Karapiro is an artificial reservoir lake here on the Waikato River. 8 kilometres situated southeast of Cambridge in New Zealand's North Island. The lake was formed in 1947 by the damming of the Waikato River to store for the 96 megawatt Karapiro power station. The lake is also one of 2 premier rowing venues in New Zealand, along with the lake in Canterbury, the base for the country's high-performance rowing program. Of course, we all know there's been a lot of champion rowers and paddlers come out of the area. One, Rob Riddell, springs to mind, training here on the lake, so a lot of champion paddlers and rowers do their groundwork here at Lake Karapiro. And of course, next week, here on the lake, Dragon Boat action continues with the running of the International Breast Cancer Dragon Boat Festival, where there's countries from all over the world competing. Of course, New Zealand, there's teams from Argentina, there's a dozen teams from Australia. We've got teams competing from Canada, Italy, Malaysia, as well as South Africa, Romania, Singapore, the United States of America. And it's an all-week festival, Monday through to Thursday. A lot of festivities happening for the International Breast Cancer Regatta here at Lake Karapiro. And of course, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they'll be racing on the water. So a full week of festivities as part of the IBCPC International Regatta here at Lake Karapiro, so heaps happening here. It's been a very busy couple of weeks here at the lake. With the secondary schools competing for national honours last week. Very busy time. Our national dragon boats this week. And as we just mentioned, the International Breast Cancer Festival will be taking place next week here on the lake. Racing here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, leading up with a whole lot of festivities happening throughout the city, Hamilton through to Cambridge. A beautiful part of the world here at Lake Karapiro. A lot of on-site buildings from chalets where you can stay at, with a camping ground out of the back. Beautiful pavilion, cafe, lodge. So everything is situated on the lake. Beautiful part of the world. So it does now look like we're back on procedure. These 6-7 crews for the second flight of our 2K events just getting ready down at crew loading. See they're filing into their dragon boat, no doubt getting named off and counted off. 22 persons on the lake at one time, boat, comprising of the 20 paddlers as well as the sweep that manoeuvres the boat, and the one drum at the front just trying to keep a rhythm and beat for the paddlers to sing along with their paddle, I suppose you could call it. So just repeating, the 7 crews, they are competing in flight number 2 of our 2 kilometre time trial. They can survive, they'll be first to go. 15-second intervals followed by Boobop Savvy. Busting with Life will be third to hit the water. Abreast of Life, fourth to go. Waikato Treasure Chest, the fifth to hit the water. Pink Dragons at 6, and Boobop's Sade will be the 7th boat to be underway as part of our 2 kilometre time trial. 3 boats are already in pre-race procedure behind the start line, just waiting for the other 4 crews to get manned and warmed up, and they'll be out on the lake. You're watching action on Whakata Māori. 2 days of dragon boat action here at Lake Karapiro. And we're just waiting for our second flight of our 2 kilometre event to hit the water. Definitely starting to warm up here on the lake. That cloud has definitely burnt away. Breeze is still there, but the temperature has definitely improved a couple of degrees.
Down to the tower, please. That is Chris Stone or Holly Plays down to the tower, please.
So as you can see in the picture shot, there's those 4 crews out of the back of the starting area, just idling the water, just waiting for the race to get underway. These 3 crews and crew loading about to be let go, just safety procedure first. And as soon as those 3 crews are out on the water, they'll get underway for our second flight of a 2 kilometre event. And after they have completed their 2K, the Premier Mixed, it'll be all guns a-blazing for our Premier Women, where there'll be 15 crews on the water of their part of their 2 kilometre time trial, including Can 2, Taranaki Dragons, Wairarapa Woman, Simply the Breast, Waikato Snap Dragons, Bay Dragons, OPC Kakariki, Pegasus Dragons, Amazon Hearts, Woman of Steel, Hauraki Blues, the Jaffets, Mana Wahine, Otapoti Dragons, and 22 Sisters and they'll compete in the third flight of our 2 kilometre time trial, the Premium Women, on the back of our next event, which is the middle one of our 2K time trial, the breast cancer survivors, where there's 7 crews out on the water. And it looks like we're getting closer to a start. These crews are coming up to the start line, where they'll paddle their way up the lake to complete 500, back down the lake to complete 1,000, and they'll repeat their 1,000 metres to complete a 2K time trial. One crew on the water really getting into their stride as part of their pre-race ritual. Their pre-race ritual consists of really burning a few paddles on the water, that is, manpower, as well as doing a few turns just to get those turns right, being the 3 turns in the 2K race. And that's where the sweep comes involved, to get that dragon boat around those turns, back at the back of the dragon boat. Those crews you can see in pit shot at the moment getting ready for their third tier. So they're the Premier Woman getting ready to get crew loading for their race after this completion of race 2. Pardon? Oh, that's... So you can probably say we're in transit at the moment. One of the 2K races have been completed, the Premier Mix, just waiting for the breast cancer survivors. They're out in the water at the moment getting ready for their 2 kilometre time trial, and the last of our 2K races will be our Premier Woman.
Got a call for Noel Anderton down to the umpire boats. Noel Anderton down to the umpire boats, please.
And while we're just waiting for these boats to get underway, we'll just go to a quick ad break here on Whakaata Māori.
A big thank you to Apollo Projects for providing the funding.
It's really helped our kids to have more opportunities.
It's just filling in the spaces, isn't it?
Really goes a long way to providing opportunities.
We are low on the socioeconomic index, so our students haven't got $200 when we're going away for these trips.
Students often miss out on opportunities because of the financial commitment.
More often than not, the student has to give up their sport.
With the funding from Apollo projects, we've been able to lower travel costs to allow more students to participate in secondary school competitions.
Your generosity has enabled us to enable these students be able to play in these sports, be able to just be the best versions of themselves.
We're really grateful, and I cannot express that enough about how and what it means to us.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
Since 2022, New Zealand Carbon Farming has been a partner in our School Sports Series, which is a collection of national sporting events that are held throughout New Zealand. They've also committed significant funding to help local schools and the communities that they're a part of so they can achieve more with their sport programs.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport and to promote sport in schools is hugely beneficial.
As a small rural school, obviously travel is an issue for us. We compete often in the Waikato.
We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel and cost of accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students.
Our students are in an area where money is tight and opportunities for them is minimal. So creating more opportunities at school for our students to participate in sport is what we're wanting to do.
So to be able to have the support of New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic this year.
We are very grateful for the funding. It's going to help a lot of our students here at Te Kuiti High School, especially one of our students, Callum Headley. He has made the New Zealand Kia Ora team.
I'd just like to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for their support of the college. Without the support, we wouldn't be able to offer everything we do to the students.
Huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. Certainly the opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
Big thanks to New Zealand Carbon Farming for everything they've done for us. Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you. And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
And Whakaata Māori welcomes you back to Lake Karapiro for day one of our two-day Dragon Boat Regatta for the Nationals. Still a slight delay for race number 2, but just joined the action. Had a bit of a mishap in race number 1 where one of the Dragon Boats just took on a little bit of water, so they were abandoned from the race, and just making sure all safety measures are taken on board, including picking up some of the paddles that are on the lake out there, just floating the water, make sure there's no obstacles for these upcoming events. So just making sure that all safety procedures are reached. Takes us time to take out a few more of our bios on our couple of our teams competing over a 2-day regatta. One of them is another Christchurch-based team, A Breast of Life. They're a group of breast cancer survivors living in Christchurch and paddle a dragon boat. They come from all walks of life, all different shapes and sizes, and they range in age from 26 to in their 30s. And the one thing they all have in common, and which bonds us in a very special way, is diagnosis and treatment for breast cancer. And having stared the beast in the face and won, they wanted to show that other women facing this frightening diagnosis that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and active life after treatment. They want to raise the general awareness about breast cancer, act as a reminder to have regular breast examinations and mammograms, and serve as an inspiration to all women that yes, we can do anything, and that illness or age may not be a barrier to have it go, but most importantly have fun, which most surely do. That's the brave girls from A Breast of Life, a Christchurch-based team. And Boobops, they have 3 teams entered in the two-day regatta. Love a challenge, and their numbers have doubled since the Nationals in 2021, so great job done by the girls from Boobops. They include Boobops Savvy, mostly new paddlers experiencing their first Nationals, keen ladies attending training up to 4 times a week, love to socialise off the water, as some of the names suggests, and great camaraderie on and off the water. And they listen to their coach most of the time. That's the girls from Boobops Savvy. Boobops Penoir, a mixture of newbies and babes that have been paddling for a few years. They may well surprise themselves. Never practice as a team together, thrown together on the day, and hopefully they trust the coaches in the decision to paddle as one dark horse with this group of wonderful athletes. That is the Boobops Penoir and the Boobops Shardy. Okay, must be Chardonnay. Strong, powerful babes is their motto. A range of ages, providing age and BC is no barrier. Pink is stronger than you think. They know the challenge set and grab hold of no matter what the outcome is. Unaware just how strong they are as a team, and apparently they love to party. And that is the Boobops Shardy. There's the 3 bios from our Boobops team: Savvy, Penoir, Pinot, I should say, Pinot and Shardy. So Savvy, Pinot and Shardy. Names of those 3 Boobops teams competing in our Nationals over the next 2 days. And when are they on the water, the Boobops teams? I think one has completed. No, 2 of them in this one. Boobops Savvy and Boobops Dragons. And the Boobops Pinot, they'll be seen a little bit later on this afternoon as part of our 200 metre splash and dashes. So what is happening out on the water now? The first race has been raced and won, the 2 kilometre time trial. The second is not far away. This is the Dragon Boat crew here just going through safety procedures, picking up a couple of more judges and referees to go out on the water, making sure everything is A-OK with those lanes. There's a few paddles out on the lake as resulting of the Waimak team taking on a bit of water in that previous race. So they're just making sure the lake is nice and clear, no obstacles. And then it'll be set to go in the second of our 2K races. So of course, day 1 today comprising of our 2 kilometre time trials. We've had 1 of 3. When that is all done and dusted, we'll get into our 200s, where there's quite a few rounds of heats. The day will be completed with the finals for our 200s. In which there is 8 finals of our 200s, comprising of the Premier Woman, Premier Mixed and Senior, Grand Final for the Breast Cancer Survivors. And also our 200 metre finals will consist of Senior B and Senior C final, Senior A final, Premier Woman final, and the last 2 grand finals of the day will be Premier Open and the small boat as well. So no less than 45 races out on the lake as part of our day 1 regatta. Day 2 tomorrow will be all about the 500s. So one of the official boats have just come back to lakeside just to pick up another 1 or 2 referees to take them out on the water, just to make sure that all is done correctly out there by regulations and rules. So everybody is set down on the start line. There's 7 crews behind the start line ready for their 2 kilometre time trial, which should be underway very, very shortly. And the Premier women, they're in their procedure of getting crew loading for their race. So we should have things happening pretty quickly as soon as things get underway once again. So the crews out in the water just playing a bit of a waiting game to get the all clear. So unfortunately not a lot happening on the water at this present point in time. A lot happening surrounding the lakeside, a lot of festivities, people getting warmed up. Of course those people out on the boat did all their warming up exercises just prior, just being in the boat for some time now, so they'll have to get the old body blood pumping once again when they start their 2K dragon boat a time trial.
Okay, game one. Game one, can you hear me guys? Can we start? Thank you.
So Lake Karapiro been very, very busy last couple of weeks, as we said before, the Secondary Schools Māori Cup Nationals in the past week or so. National Boat Championships, Dragon Boat this weekend. Of course, from Monday onwards next week, the International Breast Cancer Festival will take place here on the lake. 4 or 5 days of festivities action outside the lake, and then racing on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Teams from all over the world congressing on the mighty Waikato here at Lake Karapiro. Teams from Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Romania, United States. Looks like we're nearly set for the second of our 2Ks in the starters' hands. Coming up to the start line, the first to go would be Can Survive. Got the 5-second countdown and they're away. So racing continues as action continues here at Lake Karapiro as part of our second of our 2K events, and Can Survive first to hit the water in our second flight. 15-second intervals, these 7 boats will be underway. Boob Ops Savvy are next to go. They're underway, our team 2 for our second flight. Team number 3 is on the journey. And that is Busting with Life, Abreast of Life, about to get their countdown from the official starter here at the Dragon Boat Nationals. And they're on the journey as well, Abreast of Life. 3 crews to go. Waikato, Treasure Chest, Pink Dragons and Boob Ops Shardy. They'll be the remaining 3 crews to get their 15-second countdown. This is the Breast Cancer Survivor, a 2K time trial. As you can see, there's team number 4, Abreast of Life, on the journey on their 2K time trial. Team 5 has hit the water. That is the Waikato Treasure Chests. They began strongly on their 2K time trial. 2 boats to go. Pink Dragons, Team 6, our penultimate Dragon Boat and Fleet number 2. And the last one, Boobs Ops Shardy. They're ready for their 15-second countdown. Pink Dragons on the way, and Boobs Ops Shardy will be the last of our 7 crews to hit the water and light up Lake Karapiro as part of our second flight of 2K time trials. And Team 7, the last to go on their 2K time trial. Racing against the clock, not more or less against each boat, but they can overtake on correct procedures on the lake. But all 7 crews have completed, or they started off their 2 kilometre time trial. The 7 crews, top of the lake, Can Survive. Now they'll be first to wind around that top mark to complete 500 metres, followed in turn by Boobs Ops Savvy. Busting with Life, the 3rd crew to hit the water. Abreast of Life, Waikato Treasure Chest, Pink Dragons and Boobs Ops Shardy, the 7 crews on the water as part of our 2K time trial. Race number 2 of day 1 of our Dragon Boat regattas here at Lake Karapiro. So Can Survive, they're first to complete 500.
Still in order.
As they get towards the quarter mark, the first 500 metres completed. Still in starting order with Can Survive, winging around that top mark first. Team 2, Boobs Ops Savvy. They'll swing the Dragon Boat around in second position after starting second. They've got about a boat length and a half over Busting with Life, will close in 3rd. Abreast of Life have closed their gap. They'll close around the mark in 4th position, but at a boat length away from a Busting with Life. 2 boat lengths back to Waikato Treasure Chest. They've opened up 5 boat lengths over Pink Dragons, who are in 6th after starting 6th. And Boobs Ops Shardy were the 7th boat to get underway. They will be in the 7th position. So Can Survive clearly first. On the outside, Abreast of Life are in 4th position. They've gone a bit wide around the mark. Getting inside the Waikato Treasure Chest, well, they looks like they'll straighten up ahead of Abreast of Life. They're 4th and 5th respectively. And the last 2 crews, Pink Dragons and Boobs Ops Shardy, 6th and 7th. So on their second leg, paddling their way down to the bottom mark, or the start-finish line. And I can tell you those 2 boats are getting very, very close, 3 and 4, Busting with Life and Abreast of Life, very close, 3rd and 4th respectively. Busting with Life with about half a boat length over Abreast of Life in 3rd and 4th position. They're at the bottom of your picture. And Waikato Treasure Chests They're on, they've got Abreast of Life right in their sights. The last two crews have now completed their 500 metre section. They are Pink Dragons and Boobs Op Shardy. But out in front, 6 and 7, Pink Dragons and Boobs Op Shardy got around. So it looks like crew 6, Pink Dragons, have just gone a wee bit wayward as they went around that top mark. They're going into the centre of the lake, so I'm not sure what's gone on wrong with Pink Dragons. Boobs Op Shardy have gone past them, but at the top of the lake it is Team 1, Can Survive, in front at the moment. They've opened up 5 or 6, make it, well, a good 8 boat lengths over team number 2, which is Boobs Op Savvy. They're still in starting order at the moment. Team 3, Busting with Life. 4 and 5 getting close. That is Abreast of Life and Waikato Treasure Chests. Waikato Treasure Chests are getting alongside a Abreast of Life at that 4th and 5th position. And then back to Boobs Op Shardy and Pink Dragons. They've got their compass going once again, and they're getting right back into the swing of things, or the paddle of things, shall we say, in this Dragon Boat 2 kilometre time trial. But up top, Can Survive have gone through the halfway mark. They've completed 1,000. So they're in their second stanza of their 1,000 metre to complete 2Ks. Just going around the bottom mark now is Boob Ops Savvy. So they've completed 1,000 metres. Busting with Life will go around third. Now Waikato Treasure Chest have got the better of Abreast of Life, and they'll cruise round in 4th ahead of Abreast of Life. So they've picked up a spot there as Waikato Treasure Chest ahead of Abreast of Life. And then the other two crews on the water, which are Boobs Ops Shardy. Now Pink Dragons, there's just something amiss with their compass at the moment. They are paddling towards the middle of the lake at the moment, so hopefully they get their compass all sorted out. So Can Survive, Boobs Op Savvy. They're on the third leg, completing 1,000, heading towards the 1,500 metre mark. Waikato Treasure Chests, they've picked up a spot. They're now in third in the running order after starting in 5th. Busting with Life have gone back to 3rd, back to 4th. And Abreast of Life, they've dropped the position. They started 4th, they're now back 5th in the running line. Boobs Ops Shardy, they've just completed 1,000 metres. It looks like Pink Dragons have got their compass / radar back on track, and they are paddling towards their 1,000 metre mark. But back at the top of the lake, Can Survive. Now they are paddling towards their 1,500 metre mark. Second is still Boobs Ops Savvy. And then we've got a cluster of 3 dragon boats headed up by Waikato Treasure Chest, who've made up a couple of spots in this time trial. Busting with Life and Abreast of Life. About a dozen boat links away to Boobs Ops Shardy, who started 7th, picked up a spot in 6th. And Pink Dragons, who are now rounding the bottom mark to complete 1,000 metres to the halfway through. And they had a little problem or two with their radar a couple of times in that second stanza of their 5 to 1,000 metre mark of the race. So we're in the second of our 2 kilometre time trial events, and head of the field at the moment is Can Survive. They were first to be let go in their time trial, and they're head of the fleet at the moment by about a good dozen boat lengths. They're about to round the top mark to complete 1,500, and they are homeward bound their last 500. Bit of a cluster of dragon boats for the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, headed up by Boob Op Savvy. They still hold the 2nd position, but they're under pressure with Waikato Treasure Chest hot in pursuit of them, and then Busting with Life and Abreast of Life. They're tussling for that 4th and 5th to round the top mark. Can Survive are homeward bound. They're inside their last 500 metres. Now getting towards the top mark. Boob Op Savvy on the outside, but have to give way to Waikato Treasure Chest, who might just get underneath them at that top mark, and they do so. So Waikato Treasure Chest, who started 5th in the running order, now in 2nd. So they've made up a lot of ground, and there's a 2 kilometre time trial. On their outside is Boobop Savvy, who started second back to third. And then we got the 4th and 5th place teams, Busting with Life and Abreast of Life, who started 3rd and 4th respectively, and now 4th and 5th in the running order. And there's probably about a dozen boat links back to Boobs Op Shardy, who started 7th and picked up a spot of the Pink Dragons, who are about 200 metres away from completing their 1500. So Boobop Shardy about to complete the top mark and complete 1500 metres of their 2 kilometre time trial. So there's just one boat between the 1000 and 1500, that is Pink Dragons, and they're halfway down, so they've still got about 200 metres to paddle before they are 3/4 of the way home. But up top, Can Survive, keeping up a strong paddle. They were first to hit the water in the second flight of a 2Ks as part of our Breast Cancer Survivor time trial. And they've got about 8 or 9 boat links clear of a very brave Waikato Treasure Chest, who started 5th. They've picked up 3 spots to be in 2nd position at the moment in the running order. And then it's back to Boobs Op Savvy, who have dropped a place. And then a Breast of Life and Busting with Life are back in 4th and 5th respectively. And there's about 8 or 9 boat links back to Boobs Op Shardy. And just about to complete the 3/4 mark will be Pink Dragons. So Pink Dragons are just rounding the top mark to complete 1500, and they are on their homeward leg. 500 metres to go, but at the top of the lake with about 50 metres to go, Can Survive are about to complete their 2K time trial. And to do so now, so Can Survive, a very strong paddle. They started first, they all finished in first position. Second's going to be Waikato Treasure Chest, who started off in 5th position. They've had a very good paddle. They're going to finish 2nd. And they're about 2 or 3 boat links clear of Boobs Op Savvy. And they've got about 2 boat links over a very tight struggle between Busting with Life and the Breast of Life, that 4th and 5th spot. About 6 boat links back to Boobs Op Shardy, and 120 odd metres away to Pink Dragons. But going across the line in the 2nd position will be Waikato Treasure Chest, a very strong paddle. They started 5th, they finished in 2nd position. 3rd will be Boobs Op Savvy, who started 3rd or finished 2nd. Very close 4th and 5th between boats 3 and 4, Busting with Life and a Breast of Life. There's only a dragon boat head between those two as they head towards the finishing line. And maybe a Breast of Life over a Busting of Life for that 3rd and 4th spot. As it is very, very close for that position. Who's it going to be? Maybe the outside Breast of Life over a Busting with Life, and only about 6 or 7 boat links away to Boobs Op Shardy, who will cross the line in the 6th position, and that leaves just 1 boat to complete their 2K time trial, and that will be Pink Dragons, who have got their radar compass spot on now. They've completed very strongly over the last 750, 1,000 metres, and they've got about 200 metres to paddle for their 2K time trial in a very, very resolute fashion. So just repeating that race there, Can Survive, who started first, finished first. Second was Waikato Treasure Chest, who were 5th off the start line, completed, or they got a couple of positions up the podium. They finished in 2nd position. Boobs Op Savvy, who started 2nd, finished 3rd. Now it was very close between Busting with Life and a Breast of Life, that 4th and 5th spot. Maybe a Breast of Life over Busting with Life. I'll leave it up to the camera to decide that. Boobs Op Shardy, they will cross the line in 6th position, and the 7th boat to finish the 2K time trial will be the Pink Dragons, who started 6th, and they just dropped the spot to finish in 7th position. But their last 750 metres of this time trial, very, very strong, after having a little problem or 2 in the middle stages, but a very strong last 750 from the girls. And they'll cross the line in 7th position as part of our 2nd flight of our 2K Breast Cancer Survivor race here at the Dragon Boat Nationals at Lake Karapiro. So there's 2 flights of our 2K time trials completed on day 1 of our 2 days of our NZDBA Dragon Boat Nationals. 1 more of our 2K time trials to go. It's our biggest flight. 15 boats about to tackle the water. In starting order, Can 2 will be first to go. Taranaki Dragons will be number 2. Wairarapa Woman number 3. Simply the Breast number 4. 5, Waikato Snapdragon. 6, Bay Dragons. Number 7, Otatahi Paddling Club Kakariki. 8th team will be Pegasus Dragons. 9, the Amazon Hearts. 10, Woman of Steel. 11, Hauraki Blues. 12, Jaffets. 13, Manawahine. 14, Otapoti Dragons. And our 15th crew. And our last flight of our 2K time trials will be 22 Sisters. Now to hit the water, and that'll complete our 2K time trials for our 32 boats. And after that, we'll get into our 200 metre, what we like to call them the splash and dashes, throughout the latter part of the morning and afternoon, concluding with the 200 metre finals to conclude day 1 of our 2 days here at Lake Karapiro as part of our New Zealand Dragon Boat Association Nationals. Great to be back on the water after 2-year absence. No. And this shows you how popular this sport is with over 75 boats competing in the 2 days. We'll take a short break here. When we come back, we have our 3rd flight of our 2K time trial.
A big thank you to Apollo Projects for providing the funding.
It's really helped our kids to have more opportunities.
Gaining the extra funding really goes a long way to providing opportunities.
We are low on the socioeconomic index, so our students haven't got $200 when we're going away for these trips.
Students often miss out on opportunities because of the financial commitment.
More often than not, the student has to give up their sport.
With the funding from Apollo Projects, we've been able to lower travel costs to allow more students to participate in secondary school competitions.
Your generosity has enabled us to enable these students be able to play in these sports, be able to just be the best versions of themselves.
We're really grateful, and I cannot express that enough about how and what it means to us.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
Since 2022, New Zealand Carbon Farming has been a partner in our School Sports Series, which is a collection of national sporting events that are held throughout New Zealand. They've also committed significant funding to help local schools and the communities that they're a part of so they can achieve more with their sport programs.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport and to promote sport in schools is hugely beneficial.
As a small rural school, obviously travel is an issue for us. We compete often in the Waikato.
We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel and cost of accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students.
Our students are in an area where money is tight and opportunities for them is minimal. So creating more opportunities at school for our students to participate in sport is what we're wanting to do.
So to be able to have the support of New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic this year.
We are very grateful for the funding.
It'll be interesting.
It's going to help a lot of our students here at Te Kuiti High School, especially one of our students, Callum Headley. He has made the New Zealand Kia Ora team.
I'd just like to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for their support of the college. Without the support, we wouldn't be able to offer everything we do to the students.
Huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. Certainly the opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
Big thanks to New Zealand Carbon Farming for everything they've done for us. Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
Want to catch a fuel bargain with Caltex and Supergold? Scan your Caltex app, Flybuys or Airpoints for 6 cents off per litre with Pumped. And show your Supergold card for an extra 2 cents off. Ah, feels good.
Welcome back into Lake Karapiro for our Dragon Boat Nationals, our New Zealand Dragon Boat Association Nationals. Day one of our 2-day regatta here. We're just on 75 teams competing over the 2 days, and we're at the latter part of our 2 kilometre time trial to kick off the day. We had a bit of a mishap in race number 1 with one of the dragon boats unfortunately taking on a wee bit of water and had to be abandoned from the race, but we can tell you that all paddlers were a-okay on that and the back to shore nice and, or the lakeside nice and safely. So what we've had so far is our Premier Mixed and Breast Cancer Survivor 2K time trials. One more to go in our 2K events, and it's the biggest fleet of the morning. 15 dragon boats will take to the water as part of our Premier Woman 2K time trial. That'll complete the 2K events, and then we'll get into our 200 metre events throughout the latter part of the morning and throughout the afternoon, concluding with the finals a little bit along this afternoon. As we said before, tomorrow will be all about the 500s. Today's the 200s and the 2K time trials. So 2 down, 1 to go as part of our 2K time trials, and our 200 metre races will hopefully start within about half an hour. So just after 11 o'clock, if you're joining us from overseas, you're here watching the action on Lake Karapiro, which is situated about 8.5k outside of Cambridge on the mighty Waikato River in the North Island of New Zealand. We're watching dragon boat action. 75 teams competing over the 2 days. Been a couple of years absence as the nationals. Great to see the paddlers back on the water, and it shows with the foot traffic with over 75 boats competing over the next 2 days of dragon boating action here at Lake Karapiro on the mighty Waikato River. 2K time trials to kick off proceedings, where there was 3 fleets of them. We've had 2 down, 1 to go. The first fleet to hit the water was a band of 10 dragon boatings competing in the Premier Mixed. We've just seen the Breast Cancer Survivor where 7 boats are on the water, and the last 15 crews will take part in the 2K time trials before we hit the water with that 200 metre, as they like to call them, the splash and dashes, when they just go for leather. So out on the water at the moment, the boats getting ready for our 2K time trial. 15 boats to tackle Lake Karapiro as part of our 2 kilometre time trial. And the start is just organising them. But more than 15 boats behind the start line, and they'll be sent off in 15-second intervals. So those 15 boats just getting into pre-race formation. And just a little bit more for the start crew to worry about down there at the start line. They have had a 7 and a 10 to contend with. Now there's 15 behind the start line to get into order. So you're watching the action on Whakata Māori. So the Dragon Boat crew is just going through their pre-race tactics and formation. Strong paddles to get the lungs expanding, the blood rate up, a couple of turns in their pre-race rituals, because in their 2K time trial there is 3 turns to contend with. So everything's going to be precision. So if you're watching this action outside of New Zealand, bit about the lake, Lake Karapiro is an artificial reservoir lake on the Waikato River, situated about 8 k's or 5 miles in the long, southeast of Cambridge in New Zealand's North Island. The lake was formed in 1947 by the damming of the Waikato River to store water for the Karapiro Power Station, 96 megawatt Karapiro Power Station. The lake is also one of the 2 premier rowing venues in New Zealand, alongside Lake Rurataniwha, which is situated in Canterbury of the South Island. And of course, this is the base of high performance rowing program in Lake Karapiro. And some more information for you about our Lake Karapiro. As we said, first flooded there back in 1947. The length 11 kilometres long, 1 kilometre wide, 7.7 square metres in kilometres is the surface area. The average depth of the lake is around 11 metres, maximum depth of 30.5 metres, and the surface elevation at 53 metres within the old, about 170 feet. There's a few facts about Lake Karapiro. You can see boat number 14 is just getting into the water now. That is the team from the deep south, from Dunedin, Ōtepoti Dragons. The ladies there getting their boat in the water. They'll count themselves off, make sure that all 22 are in the boat. There's the 20 paddlers plus the sweep, which steers the boat, and also the drummer at the top of the boat. And the drummer's main aim is to keep a rhythm for the dragon boat paddlers out there on the water. Some boats have chants, some have just simple sayings, some just simply listen to the beat of the drum to keep their paddle in the water at a fierce rate. So the 22 dragon boat personnel just getting ready. That's the Otapoti Dragons. So you can just imagine quite a bit of organising down there at crew loading with the 15 boats getting out on the water. 330 to count off, count in, and get out onto the water, plus the officials. So quite a task down there for the crew at crew loading to get those 15 boats out on the water safely as they congress around behind the start line. So hopefully won't be too far away from our third of our 2K time trials. Some other facts and figures about the famous lake here. Hosted the World Rowing Championships in 1978 and 2010, and also the rowing events as part of the 1950 British Empire Games. So I can tell you all boats are actually out on the water now. So all crew loading has been finalised for our third heat, or third flight of our 2 kilometre 2K time trial. And as these 15 crews get ready for their Premier Women 2K time trial, got a couple more team biographies from a couple of more teams competing in our 2023 New Zealand Dragon Boat Association Nationals Can 2. They're a part of a Can Survive Dragon Boat Club. The club is made up of 3 Dragon Boat teams, Can 2, Can Survive and Can Thrive. Can 2 is a competitive women's team from Wellington. They are the sister team to Can Survive, the Wellington breast cancer team that is competing here at the Nationals and next week at the International Breast Cancer Festival. They train in the Wellington Harbour alongside Can Thrive and Can Survive, as well as many other of the Wellington teams. Can 2 have grown in numbers, confidence and ability since they attended Nationals in 2021. At the last Dragon Boat Nationals in Lake Hood there in Ashburn and Christchurch, we had enough paddlers for the small boat competition only, but this year we are competing in both the standard and the small boat. As we said before, the small boat is 10 packs and the standard is a full quota of 20. And like many teams, they've worked hard on and off the water, including fundraising, and are very, very excited to be part of the 2023 Dragon Boat Nationals. Now, Can Survive team, of course, their sister team, their 20th year together, part of the 3-team club. They come from all over Wellington, the Wairarapa and Kapiti. They are feisty and super excited about dragon boating, and they have very, very good friendship and fun, and they spread the breast cancer awareness in our community. That is the Can Survive team, the sister team to Can 2, of course, from the Wellington, Kapiti and Wairarapa region. Great to see them here at Lake Karapiro as part of the 2023 Dragon Boat Nationals. So we shan't be too far away from these 15 crews being set alight on the water here as part of our third flight of 2 kilometre time trials. The starter got a bit of a job down there just ushering the 15 crews into some sort of position to start fairly and squarely, shall we say, in the 2K flight. You can see a few of the caps are starting to rise here at the lake. Just a breeze has got up here over the last sort of 15-20 minutes. Overhead conditions are spot on. The cloud has burnt away. Very, very sunny. Nice, probably warm, 18, 19 degrees, but the breeze has definitely got up there with a couple, as we see a couple of the caps just making their way to the surface here at Lake Karapiro. So it could be around the 10, 12 knots maybe out there. So definitely a stiff breeze indeed. So they'll definitely feel it when they're going up the lake, but coming down the lake, they'll be on all 20 cylinders. The original forecast was for the breeze to pick up over the latter part of the morning and afternoon. But as you can see, stunning place of the world. The starting crew have issued the dragon boats. We're not too far away from the start, so the crews are getting very close up to the start line. So stand by for the start of our last of our 2K time trials. 15 crews on the water. This is the Premier Woman. Can 2 will be the first to hit the water. It was Can 2 part of the Can Survive Dragon Boat Club, made up of those 3 dragon boat clubs, including Can 2, Can Survive and Can Thrive. Said before too, most of their training in the Wellington Harbour, so you could probably say they might be used to these conditions. As it is getting very breezy here at the present point in time. They've just picked up a notch or two over the last 4 or 5 minutes as well, that wind. Tell by how those buoys in the water, how strong the wind is. Alrighty, the orders have come through from the start crew. They're proceeding to get the race underway. So team number 1 coming up to the start line. Can 2, they'll be ready for their 15-second countdown before they'll be underway. They'll hear a siren and then the last 5 will come down and beeps. So they're inside the last 15 seconds of preparation before their 2K time trial, before the starter. Here's the 15-second call for Can 2. They're the first of the 15 crews to hit the water for our Premier Women 2 kilometre time trial. 5-second countdown. Sorry, 10-second. There's the 5. Underway. Can 2 are underway. Team 2 underway, and that is the Taranaki Dragons. They're underway. So they're completing their started their 2 kilometre time trial. Team number 3 up on to the start line, Wairarapa Women. They are set, gone. Wairarapa Women underway. Simply the Breast coming forward. Simply the Breast on the journey. Team 5 coming forward, Waikato Snapdragons. Inside the last 5 seconds for Waikato Snapdragons. They've been sent on their 2 kilometre time trial. Bay Dragons are up next, team number 6. Team 5 on the way, that is Waikato Snapdragons. Bay Dragons up next, team number 6. Of course, teams in line to go over the start line. Wait for that 5-second countdown, and they'll be set underway. Bay Dragons on the way. Otatahi Paddling Club, Kakariki, they're on the journey. Pegasus Dragons, they're coming up to the start line. They've been sent on their way. Pegasus Dragons, they've started very strongly. Number 9, Amazon Hearts, they're on the journey. Team number 10, Woman of Steel, coming up to the start line for their 2K time trial. Woman of Steel, they're on their way. 5 to go. Hauraki Blues, Jaffets, Mana Wahine, Otapoti Dragons, and 22 Sisters. Hauraki Blues get their 5-second countdown. They've been sent on the journey. Team 12, Jaffets, they're about to begin their 2K time trial. Getting set. On their way, Jaffets are on their way. 3 to go. Mana Wahine coming up to the start line. Cuckoos to start there. 2023 Dragon Boat Regatta. And away go Mana Wahine, just the 2 to go. Otapoti Dragons and 22 Sisters are the 2 crews left. And while these 2 crews are about to start, the top of the lake, Can 2, Taranaki Dragons, Wairarapa Women, they're about to complete 500 metres. About our penultimate 2K time trialist, Otapoti Dragons on the way. And that'll leave 22 Sisters, the last to get the Dragon Boat fired up. "22 Sisters on the way." So all 15 crews are out on the lake for their 2K time trial. Can 2 have completed their first 500 metres. Hot on their Dragon Boat is Taranaki Dragons. Wairarapa Women, Simply the Breast, and Waikato Snapdragons about to complete their first 500. A couple of crews have gone a wee bit wide. There's one team there that have just lost their... So it looks like a few of the boats here have got their bearings a little astray as they completed that first 500 metres, just trying to pick up the boat that's gone a little bit wayward. But out in front, we have got Can 2, who started first. They are clearly in second spot. Taranaki Dragons have completed their 500 metres. So have Wairepa Women Simply the Breast. Bay Dragons, OPC Kakariki, they're about to complete their 500. Pegasus Dragons, Amazon Hearts, Women's Steel, they're inside the last 50 metres of their first turn. Haraki Blues, Jaffets, Mana Wahine, Otapoti Dragons and 22 Sisters getting towards the end of their first 500. By the top of the lake, so boats 1 and 2, Can 2 and Taranaki Dragon just gone a little bit wayward and their first mark. But up the top of the lake is team number 3, which is the Wairarapa women's team. They're out in front. Taranaki Dragons have got the compass going A-OK now. They're in second spot. Followed by Simply the Breast in fourth. Bay Dragons have followed closely behind. And then we've got the Waikato Snapdragons, OPC Kakariki halfway between the 5 and the 1,000. So team number 3, and that is the Wairarapa Women. They've completed 1,000 metres, so they're halfway in their 2K time trial. The first team to complete the 1,000. They did start off in third position, have picked up a couple of spots with Can 2 just going a little astray at that first mark, as well as Taranaki Dragons have just come through in second spot. Getting very close at this bottom mark. Taranaki Dragons first to, or second to come around. Then we've got team number 4, Simply the Breast, that picked up a spot. Team number 6, Bay Dragons, they've completed their 1,000 metres. Team number 7, OPC Kakariki, they've had a very strong first 1,000 metres. They're up in 5th spot after starting 7th. Now there's a team that's gone a little bit wide on their 1,000 metre turn. It is Team 5, Waikato Snapdragons, but have got the boat back in the right direction now. Behind them, we've got team number 9, Amazon Hearts. They made up a good lot of ground that second 500. And out on the lake trying to complete their second tier are teams number 13, Mana Wahine. Behind them we've got 22 Sisters, very strong second 500. 11 Hauraki Blues have just dropped a spot or two. Women of Steel, they've completed their 1,000 metres. They're on their third leg. Back up to the top of the lake. And Hop Yasuda's team number 11 and Hauraki Blues. Mana Wahine completing the bottom mark. Right on there, Dragon Boat Tailers, 22 Sisters. About 2 Dragon Boat links behind them. Otapoti Dragons. And the only team to complete the 1,000 metre is Can 2, who just had a couple of compass problems at their first mark. But they got the Dragon Boat in the right direction now and just trying to get up to full speed now is Can 2. So there's Can 2 in a picture shot at the moment. They're first to hit the water for our 2K time trial. Just had a little bit of a problem at the first turn, but the girls have regathered their composure and they're back on the straight and narrow, completing the halfway mark of their 2K time trial. They're coming up to the 750 mark. So they've got about 220 odd metres to complete their halfway mark, and they'll complete their second stanza of their race very, very shortly. But at the top of the lake, getting quite jam-packed there between Wairapa Women, Taranaki Dragons, Snapdragons from the Waikato and Bay Dragons to complete 3 legs as they wind the dragon boats around. There's team number 4, Simply the Breast, going around just ahead of team 2, Taranaki Dragons. On their outside is Bay Dragons, getting very tight there. Number 7, OPC Kakariki, going for the short run home on the inside past that buoy. So they've got around the 1500 metre mark. And the 2 crews behind OPC Kakariki swinging the dragon boat around. We've got team number 8. 5 ahead of them is Waikato Snapdragons. So they've completed 1500 metres. So have Pegasus Dragons. And these 3 crews are hustling. All one just missed the buoy there as they turned round. That was team number 9, which was the Amazon Hearts. It's just getting very tight. One team just going a little bit via the cape there on the outside. Looks like it's the 11 Hauraki Blues. Can2 have completed their 1,000 metres, so they are hightailing it towards the 1,500 metre mark. Team 15 goes round 22 sisters ahead of Otapoti Dragons and Mana Wahine. So 14 crews have completed their 3/4 mark. And just the one to complete that is Can2, who are well and truly on the straight and narrow now, completing their, not far away from their 1,500, but 14. Looks like we've got a capsize out there as one of those Italian crews. As they're going around this bottom mark, just lost control of the dragon boat. Now the safety procedures will kick in. Looks like Mana Wahine. Otapoti Dragon just can't quite see that number on the dragon boat. But now the safety procedures will kick in for this crew that capsized at the bottom mark. Top mark, should I say, at the 1,500. Now they will count off and make sure everything is A-OK with them. But Can2 just going around the top mark at the 1,500. But on the homeward leg, we've got team 6, Bay Dragons, made up a lot of ground on this last leg. They're in front of team 4, Simply the Breast, and OPC Kakariki. They are flying on the inside of the lake. They might get up to run second as they go across the line now. Bay of Dragons have won it over KPC Kakariki, very strong in second, but splitting them is Simply the Breast. They're the first 3 crews across the mark, but a very good pedal from OPC Kakariki. Team 2, Taranaki Dragons, they're going to complete their 2K race now, and hot pursuit of them are 5 and 10. Waikato Snapdragons and Woman of Steel, very strong last 500, and Woman of Steel may get the slot just ahead of the Waikato Snapdragons. They've opened up by about 8 or 9 boat lengths over team number 13, which is Mana Wahine. So it can't have been them that capsized at that far mark. Team 11, which is Hauraki Blues. Then team number 12, the Jaffets. And hot pursuit is Amazon Hearts. Those 4 crews will all cross the line very shortly for their completion of their 2K mark. Then we got team number 14, Otapoti Dragons. 11, Hauraki Blues. And the 2 crews still on the water are Can2 and the boat that capsized. So team number 1, Cantu, making their way on their homeward leg. So Otapoti Dragons was the crew that ran into difficulty at that top mark. And they're just giving a count off now, and the safety crew boats are there immediately to make sure that everything is A-OK with those ladies out on the boat. So Cantu, they've got about 300 metres to paddle in their final leg to complete their 500 metre time trial, and all the action at the top of the lake with Otapoti Dragons. Just capsizing at that mark there, but the safety crews are there doing their job, and they've all counted them off, and they're all safe and sound down there at that mark. So Cantu have got about 100 metres to paddle to complete their 2K time trial. That'll make it 14 boats complete the 2K time trial, just the one boat out on the water, and the safety boats are down there, just making sure everyone is A-OK in that Otapoti crew. Correction, actually Mana Wahine. Otapoti, they finished their resolutely. It was actually Mana Wahine was the boat that struck trouble at that 1500 metre mark. And as you can see, they all look pretty good. Good spirits, thumbs ups by most of them. They're all in good spirits, the girls, as they're counting off. Unlucky 13, some might say. It looks like everything is under control down there at the top of the lake where Mana Wahine. Yeah, they're in good spirits. So while safety procedures are happening for getting Mana Wahine back to the lakeside, as you can see, beautiful spot of the world is Lake Karapiro here in the mighty Waikato. Situated about 8 kilometres southeast of the town of Cambridge. Of course, home of the Rowing High Performance Centre. But in the next 2 days, it's home of the New Zealand Dragon Boat Association North Island National Champ, should I say. There has been a hype of activity over the previous couple of weeks with the Māori Cup, the secondary schools being competed here a week or so ago. Dragon Boat Nationals this week, and next week it's the International Breast Cancer Festival here. We have teams from all over the world competing in an idyllic place in Aotearoa. And while this action is taking place on the lake with the retrieval of the personnel on Mana Wahine, we'll take a short break here. Back shortly with day one of our national champs.
big thank you to Apollo Projects for providing the funding.
It's really helped our kids to have more opportunities. Gaining the extra funding really goes a long way to providing opportunities.
We are low on the socioeconomic index, so our students haven't got $200 when we're going away for these trips.
Students often miss out on opportunities because of the financial commitment.
More often than not, the student has to give up their sport.
With the funding from Apollo projects, we've been able to lower travel costs to allow more students to participate in secondary school competitions.
Your generosity has enabled us to enable these students, be able to play in these sports, be able to just be the best versions of themselves.
We're really grateful, and I cannot express that enough about how and what it means to us.
Whoops, running on empty? Enjoy a 6 cents per litre fuel discount at your local Caltex with Pumped every day. Ah, feels good, eh? Get it at any participating Caltex.
Since 2022, New Zealand Carbon Farming has been a partner in our School Sports Series, which is a collection of national sporting events that are held throughout New Zealand. They've also committed significant funding to help local schools and the communities that they're a part of so they can achieve more with their sport programs.
Having this funding, being able to use it specifically targeting sport and to promote sport in schools is hugely beneficial.
As a small rural school, obviously travel is an issue for us. We compete often in the Waikato.
We're a community who's driven by sport, but often money and the cost of travel and cost of accommodation and uniform can be a barrier for some of our students.
Our students are in an area where money is tight and opportunities for them is minimal. So creating more opportunities at school for our students to participate in sport is what we're wanting to do.
So to be able to have the support of New Zealand Carbon Farming has been fantastic this year.
We are very grateful for the funding. It's going to help a lot of our students here at Te Kuiti High School, especially one of our students, Callum Headley. He has made the New Zealand Kia Rahi team.
I'd just like to thank New Zealand Carbon Farming for their support of the college. Without the support, we wouldn't be able to offer everything we do to the students.
Huge thank you to New Zealand Carbon Farming. Certainly the opportunities and the sponsorship that's been provided is pretty crucial for our school.
Big thanks to New Zealand Carbon Farming for everything they've done for us. Without them, then we wouldn't look like this.
No time to fluff around today? No worries. Just swing into Caltex and pay for fuel with Pay an App to speed on through. Oh yeah, feels good. Use it at your local participating Caltex.
And welcome back to Lake Karapiro for day one of our two-day New Zealand Dragon Boat Association Nationals. I hope you enjoyed the first stanza, which was the 2-kilometre time trials. We're going to take a short break back, and we'll be back in about 30 minutes with the start of our 200-metre races. We'll see you right then.
This is an opportunity that we can't